Good morning, everyone. Thank you once more for joining this webinar. The reseller webinar on mitigating cyber threats with Manage Engine solution. This is the second series. We had one yesterday that treated Patch Manager Plus. So today we are going to focus on how you can mitigate cyber threat using Manage Engine solution. So we have various solutions as we stated yesterday, not just one. So I will be going through that now so that we can as well as see what solution that is best for us today. So like I said, this webinar is going to be in a series. We're going to treat all the solutions that actually mitigate this threat in the subsequent series of this of the reseller webinar. So before we proceed, let me just give a brief of what we Tranta IT are into. So we are widely reputed. We are widely reputed as one of the longest thriving IT companies in Nigeria. The Tranta brand was established in 1990. Tranta IT Infrastructure Services Limited was founded in 2004 and has grown to have staff strength of over 300 wonderful people, of whom are over 250 IT engineers. So we have about 250 plus IT engineer, highly trained engineer, providing professional service and support in various banks, various parastatals in the country. And we currently covers about 74% of the commercial banks in Nigeria. Tranta IT is servicing about Tranta IT is actually is present span to 36 states across Nigeria, and we have 99% SLA completion of outsourced IT support contracts. We have about 24 blue chip companies that we are servicing. Impressive customer base comprises of about 74% of the banks in Nigeria. So that's what we are, and that's where we are currently. To our client and partner, we are technology partners. So like I said, we have over 15 years working as an IT firm in Nigeria. So this is just a brief of the client that we are servicing in terms of support and other solutions that we offer. So back to the business of today, how unified endpoint management and security solution from Manage Engine. So we actually have been recognized by Forrester Wave. Forrester Wave is a group of companies that suggest the best solution that a buyer should look out for. So we are recognized in Q4 of 2021 on these solutions, as in terms of unified management, endpoint management, and security solution. So why do you need endpoint management solution? One, a UEM solution provide end-to-end integration of device management and endpoint security. So that means any solution that has to do with endpoint management and security solution, they provide end-to-end security to all your endpoint, including your desktop, server, and mobile devices they are using within your organization. It increases workforce productivities without compromising data. So like we said yesterday, with the help of the unified unified endpoint management solution, it has actually made the work of an IT head or IT support staff easier, because while focusing on other jobs, you can as well be looking out for attackers and also preventing attacker without even sitting on your desk. So you can actually make productivity of the staff increase in a positive direction, because they have other job function they are actually focusing on. But because this solution is automated, you can as well make this, do all the necessary configuration, and at the right time, you start getting the necessary patches or security that you want to achieve using the solution. So since attackers are lookout for entering point into an enterprise network, with the ever increasing numbers of endpoint that constitutes your network, it will be difficult to manually manage this endpoint. So imagine having 20,000 devices or 20,000 servers in an environment, and you want to manage this devices or server, as the case may be. So it will be very difficult for you to start going into each of these endpoints individually. So it's best for you to look out for a best practice, which is using endpoint management security solution, which as well will make you focus on other of job function that you've been employed for. So that's the objective of unified endpoint management solution. So it makes your work easier, and it also makes you work smart while in the organization. Look at the next slide. Okay, so our unified endpoint management and security solution aid an organization. So one, it manages a device array of IT endpoint, including smartphone, tablet, laptop, desktop, smartwatches, smart TVs, and browser across the multiple areas. So there are some of the organizations that have smartphones given to their staff, tablet, laptops, and then the desktop given to your staff. So in this era where we have most of our staff working from home, so you actually do not know what they are using the devices for, and you don't know if those devices has been is actually on the right condition, or you don't know if somebody else has picked those devices and start using it at home. So with this endpoint unified solution, you should be able to have a view of what is happening within your endpoint. So you can as well block some of these devices when you notice risks of or threats from any of the solution or the app that you've installed in that devices, even at a single central point. So these are the things that this solution does. We actually can be confident when we have our staff working in-house, working outside the environment, even if your devices or their laptops are being stolen. It is easier for you to wipe up all the applications in that endpoint or devices or mobile device, as the case may be, from a single central point. So those are the reason why we need this endpoint management and security solution. It's also monitor and manage troubleshoot issues faced by your remote force over remote control session. So it's easier for you to go into your client or your colleagues and system and troubleshoot whatsoever the issues that each of these endpoints is having. So you can actually work from home and also troubleshoot into your colleagues or your clients' endpoint and resolve their challenges. So these are the usefulness of endpoint security solution. Integrate with different help desk solutions to perform endpoint management tasks for your help desk console and utilize single sign-on. So with this, we can integrate with help desk solution. Once there's an issue, you get a alert, get a alert from the help desk solution that there is an issue, then you should be able to send a technician to resolve it. And also you can have a single sign-on on all the solutions that you have onboarded in the endpoint. So regularly scan your network to detect and remediate vulnerability threat and misconfiguration and high-risk software. So these are what endpoint security solution does. It try to remediate all vulnerability. There are sometimes there are some misconfiguration that would have been done in some of these endpoints. With the help of this endpoint security management solution, you should be able to resolve whatsoever misconfiguration that has been done, and also reduce the high risk of the software that have been deployed on the devices. So these are the various endpoint management and security solutions. You can see from the slide, we have the endpoint management and also the endpoint security. So the endpoint management talks about the likes of the desktop center, mobile device, patch manager plus, OS deployer, remote access, patch connect plus. So while the endpoint security talks about the vulnerability manager plus, device control plus, application control, browser security plus. So all this will be treated in subsequent series. But for today, we are going to focus on mobile device manager plus. So this session promises to be a very, 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 very initiative session, because one, this time era that we are working from, most organizations have their staff working from their home, and they cannot really know what the staff are doing currently with their devices or the endpoint they are assigned to them. But with the help of Mobile Device Manager Plus, we should be able to get an overview of what is happening with the devices, even if the devices are stolen, and there are ways and how we can also get all the apps and everything wiped out of the devices. So, but let me not just let the cat out of the bag. I have a specialist in house. Her name is Anuika. She's going to be the one to take us through the Mobile Device Manager Plus and how this Mobile Device Manager Plus can be used to mitigate cyber threat in an enterprise organization. So Anuka, I hand over the mic to you. Kindly do justice to this topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Henry. Good morning, everyone. So my name is America Manazie, the Senior Pre-Sales Technical Engineer for Toronto IT. So today we are going to be looking at the Manage Engine Mobile Device Manager Plus. As yesterday, we looked at Patch Manager Plus as one of the endpoint management solution. So you have endpoint management, you have endpoint security, but this webinar series is just for endpoint management solutions. So we looked at the Patch Manager Plus yesterday, which can be used to automate all your patching process in your environment by making sure that all your systems are up to date. So today we are going to look at Mobile Device Manager Plus, how you can manage your mobile devices. Mobile devices is not just mobile phones. Laptops can be mobile devices too. Laptops, TV OS, on smart watches, they're all mobile devices. So how can you actually manage those mobile devices that you have in your corporate environment using an application, using this Manage Engine Mobile Device Manager Plus? So that's what we are going to look at today. So MDM, that's the short name for Mobile Device Manager Plus. So MDM Plus can be used to manage your mobile devices all from a single console. So it supports different OS versions. So it supports iOS versions for iPhones, starting from version 4 and above. So it has different versions that it supports. So it supports Mac OS, it supports TV OS, it supports Chrome OS, supports Windows, Windows devices, mobile phones, and for Windows laptops, it supports only Windows 10 and above, Windows 10 laptops. So it also supports Android smartphones and tablets. So these are the supported OS that MDM, these are the OS that MDM supports for effective management. So like I've said, Mobile Device Manager Plus, also known as MDM, can be used to manage your mobile devices. So let me just give a scenario whereby, like, for example, organization purchases a new phone for their employees. How are they going to make sure that the data in those mobile devices are secured? How are they going to know that, make sure that when the devices get lost, their corporate data are secured and is not leaked out to the public? So that's endpoint management too. So with Mobile Device Manager Plus, you can be able to achieve all those. And Mobile Device Manager Plus application is available in 2 editions. They have the on-premise and they have the cloud. On-premise means that you need to provide an infrastructure for you to install the application on, provide a server, install the application on it, and from there manage your mobile devices. While cloud version means ManageEngine have already hosted the application in their own environment, in their own server. All you just need to do is for you to create an account with ManageEngine and be able to access the application. So it's also known as a software as a service application. So MDM is also available in AWS Marketplace, Microsoft, and Azure Marketplace. So it's also hosted on these environments. So what makes MDM unique? There are lots of MDM tools out there. So what makes ManageEngine MDM unique? So we have, it's based on the functionalities of the application. So it has a lot of functionalities, a lot of features that MDM have. So we are going to start with explaining from the first to the last. So the first feature of MDM is the email management. So with MDM application, you can manage all the email configurations and the email settings in your environment. For example, you purchased like maybe over 100 phones. I are trying to distribute those phones to your employees. An organization purchased over 100 phones and want to distribute those phones to your employees. But you want to, first of all, configure your email, the company email settings on the phone. So instead of you doing them manually, what you just need to do is to configure those email settings on the application. And once you've already done that, you push it out to those 100 devices. So so the time you take in setting an email account for one phone can be used to just push it to different devices at the same time. So that's how you can use MDM to manage your emails in your mobile devices. But before you can be able to do this, you have to enroll those devices, because I know most people will be asking, so how do you get those devices to get the email configuration? So you need to enroll those devices. That's device onboarding. So you need to enroll those devices. Each of the operating system have their own ways of enrolling them to the application. So if you were here yesterday, I talked about, for Patch Manager Plus, I talked about installing agents. Once you install the agents, that's how the computers can get the patches. So for mobile devices, you have to enroll the devices. Once you enroll those devices, that's how the devices can get all these configurations. So the next feature of MDM is application management. With MDM application, you can be able to manage your applications. You can distribute different apps to your mobile devices. You can uninstall apps from your mobile devices, from those mobile devices. You can even restrict the number of applications that you want those mobile devices to have. That's for application management, and it supports different applications. It supports both iOS applications, Google application, Google Play. You can integrate them with your Google Play, with your Android business store, and the rest. So, and you can also distribute your customized. If you have any custom application, all you just need to do is to onboard the application to the platform and distribute it from there. So the next feature of MDM is profile management. So what profile management here means that you can create different profiles for different groups. So for example, an organization that have 8 departments, it's not the profile that will be assigned to one department that will be assigned to the other. So you can create different profile that matches different group, and those profile contains different security policies that can be applied to that group. So there are different policies that you can create on the manage mobile device manager plus manage engine. You can restrict USB, you can disable some functionalities of the devices, you can restrict camera screenshots and the rest to ensure that data didn't leak from the organization. There's no data leak from the organization. So those are the policies that you can actually configure under the profile management and can be deployed to those mobile devices. So with MDM also, you can achieve asset management. You can know the number of mobile devices you have once you've already onboarded them. You can know the number of softwares available on those mobile devices. You can even track the battery level of those mobile devices. All is under the asset management feature. The next is device onboarding. So one of the most difficult method of managing mobile devices is onboarding those devices. So some onboarding process requires manual process, some requires some you can automate them. So but with Manage Engine application, you can be able to onboard those devices both manually and automatically. So before you onboard your devices, all operating systems, they have their own enrollment method. It's called enrollment. So iOS have their own enrollment method. They have their own manual enrollment method. They have their own automatic enrollment method. Same for Windows, same for Android. So MDM has made this very simple for you to onboard your devices to this application. So the next is audit and reports. So there are different kind of reports you can get from the application. There are different kind of reports and different audits that you can get from the applications too. So with my MDM also, it performs security management. So you can set some policies and deploy them to those mobile devices. You can also get geofencing from there. You can set a particular location that anytime the mobile devices enters that location, that's when the mobile devices will be functioning. But once it crosses that bridge, once it passes that bridge, the mobile devices won't be communicating with the server again. So with geofencing, you can be able to monitor and know exactly where your devices are being connected from. So you can also see the location history. Another functionality is the location history. You can also perform remote control with the MDM Plus application. You can perform remote control. You can remote into any mobile devices. If there's any support for that, you can just remote into the mobile devices for troubleshooting purposes. You can also perform OS updates and you can perform containerization. So what containerization means is you can create different containers. With MDM application, it supports BYOD, that's bring your own device. So imagine if a user is using his or her own phone for corporate purposes. So if you want to manage those devices, you can't manage it as a corporate device. You are going to manage it as the user's personal device. So all you just need to do is to create a container, an imaginary container that differentiates between the personal applications, personal data, and the corporate data. So any data being pushed from the application, from the MDM application, is going to go into the corporate container. But any application that have been on that mobile devices from the one will be regarded as the user's personal data. So MDM application won't interfere with the personal data of the user. It's only going to look at the corporate data, the corporate container of the device. So that's what containerization means. So the final feature of the MDM Plus is the content management. With MDM, you can distribute different content. Content here means files. You can share files. You can create a repository on the applications, and that repository can hold different kind of files, whether documents, whether pictures, videos, and once you have all those in that repository, you can distribute them across all the enrolled devices. So these are the feature highlights of Mobile Device Manager Plus. So let's just go into them in details. So for the device onboarding, that's the first thing you need to do when you want to manage your mobile devices, device onboarding. So we have different types of onboarding process for mobile devices. So we have the automated device enrollment, we have enrollment by invite, we have end user enrollment. So like I've said, each operating system have their own ways of onboarding devices or enrolling devices. For Apple mobile devices, we have Apple Business Manager. So this Apple Business Manager, you have to have an account with Apple Business Manager. You need to have an account with them. So once you've already have an account with this OEM, all you just need to do is to integrate Manage Engine MDM Plus application with it, sync all the devices from there, and those devices will be enrolled into the MDM application. So that's the automatic way of enrolling those devices. So once you have an account with Apple Business Manager, any mobile device or any Apple device purchased under the Apple, once you already have an account, will be added to this application, will be added to the Apple Business Manager platform. And once it has been added there, Mobile Device Manager will be integrated with Apple Business Manager, and all the devices added onto that MDM will be replicated on MDM platform. So that's the automatic way of enrolling those devices. So the next one we are going to look at is the Apple configurator. That's for the manual approach. So this one requires you to be with the Apple devices. So you have to enroll it manually. So for Android admin enrollment, so we have different enrollment method for Android. So we have zero touch enrollment. That's for automatic also. We have Samsung Knox mobile enrollment. For Samsung Knox mobile enrollment, this is when you want to enroll bulk Samsung devices. So you need to have an account with a Knox account with Samsung. So any Samsung devices will be registered under that Knox account. And once the device has been registered under the Knox account, all you just need to do is to integrate your Knox account on MDM, and all those devices under the Knox account will be visible on the MDM platform. So the next is the EMM token. EMM token can apply to any Android phone, whether Samsung or irrespective of the OEM, irrespective of the vendor. So all it just requires you is to be with the phone, be with the mobile device. That the EMM token is the manual approach. Zero touch and Samsung Knox is the automatic approach. So for EMM, you need to be with the mobile device. And that mobile device must be a new mobile device. If it is not new, you have to factory reset it for you to be able to manage it properly, for you to manage it effectively. So you need to factory reset it. Once you've already factory reset it, there are some processes that you need to go through before you can be able to then enroll those devices to MDM. So the next enrollment method under the Android admin enrollment is the NFC, near field communication. What you just need to do here is the mobile devices must be NFC enabled. So once you have the application installed on one of the mobile devices and they all have NFC features, all you just need to do is to bring the two phones together, put on the NFC settings on, bring the two phones together, and those devices will be enrolled. So that's all under Android admin enrollment. The next enrollment method is Windows ICD and Azure enrollment. This is for your Windows devices. So Windows ICD is the manual approach, while the Azure enrollment is the automatic approach. So for the Azure enrollment, all you just need to do, all the mobile Windows devices bought will be registered under the Azure platform. Once you log on to your Azure environment, to be able to see mobile management, all those devices will be will be registered under the mobile on the Azure platform. And once that's registered under the Azure platform, all you just need to do integrate the Azure tenant with this application, and from there be able to view all the devices registered under it, and you can then manage them from the application, from the MDM application. So the next is the Chrome OS enrollment. So there are some devices that have their OS, Chrome OS. So there are some devices that have Chrome OS. Chrome OS is another operating system. So Chrome OS have their own enrollment. So the next we are going to look at is the enrollment by invite. So if you don't want to perform any of this method, so there are another manual approach also, which is manual enrollment through QR code scanning. This is the admin that performs this kind of enrollment. So the admin will send out an invite to either through SMS or through email to those users. And once they get the invite, they'll be able to see the process on how they can enroll their devices. And once they've connected, they just need to scan a QR code presented to them on their screen, and the devices will be enrolled. So you can do bulk enrollment via CSV. So what this bulk enrollment via CSV is going to do for you, just to send out invites. It's going to send out the invite to the to those users, the users that have been populated on that CSV file. The users to be sent, an invite to be sent out to those users, and the users we follow the processes on that email invite or SMS invite, and their devices will be enrolled. So we have SMS enrollment. This is just when the invite is being sent out through SMS. And we have end user enrollment. This is when the user enrolls the mobile devices by themselves. So the next is asset management. So MDM, one of the functionalities or features of MDM is asset management. So with the asset management feature, you can be able to troubleshoot devices by remotely taking control of them. So you can remote into any mobile devices, irrespective of their OS, whether they are Android, whether they are Apple, or whether they are Windows. So you can just troubleshoot, remote into them to troubleshoot them without requiring any application, any app. From the application, you'll be able to see remote into this device. You click on the remote button and the connection will be established. The connection will be established and you can be able to troubleshoot. So you can also fetch real-time locations, that's the location history from the Asset Management tab. You can also view the location of all your devices at the same time on a single map. You can also automatically get complete details of the devices, such as the network information, the certificate, the storage space available on those mobile devices, the network information, the phone number, the network the person is using, that mobile device is using. So you can get all those information. You can also track the battery levels of devices and create alerts when it falls below a specific value. So you can track levels of mobile devices, because when the mobile device is off, once the battery is low or is off, or the mobile device is off, you won't be able to manage it again. So they must be on always for you to be able to manage those devices. So with MDM, you can be able to track the battery level of those devices. You can also schedule scans to automate periodic updates of the device information. You can send out announcements to notify users of any emergencies or any maintenance. So that's what you can actually do under the asset management feature of MDM. Please, if you have any question, you can send it through the chat box or the question and answer box, and I'll attend to them when I'm through with the presentation. So the next functionality of the Mobile Device Manager Plus is the profile management. So under the profile management, you can define different policies, such as security hardening of devices. You can enforce a strong passcode on devices. You can set a passcode for all the devices in your environment in that particular organization. You can relieve users from password fatigue using single sign-on. So if you have some enterprise application that you want the users to just use one password, one credential to have access to, you can configure that on the application. Instead of anytime they want to log on to this application, they'll be providing their user detail, their account details or credentials, which once they've logged on to that application, once they've logged on their devices, they can click on any application they want to log on to, and they will have access to that application without entering their password, their username and password. So under the security hardening of the devices, you can prevent unauthorized data access by ensuring organization can use only trusted Wi-Fi networks. So there is Wi-Fi settings under this profile management. So you can configure your own Wi-Fi settings on that MDM application, and you can then deploy them to the mobile devices you are managing. So anytime the device gets into the corporate environment, the device will connect automatically to that Wi-Fi. So that's how it works. So it can have your essential contacts and important calendar events synced to your employees' devices. You can disable basic device features or settings such as your Bluetooth, your cameras, your calls. If you don't want the users to be making call, your employee to be making calls with the mobile phones that you've given to them, if you don't want them to be receiving messages, based on the functionality that you purchased the phone for them, or the reason why you actually purchased the phone for them, you can disable some of those features, the basic features. You can also disable the external storage, that you don't want the employees to store their data on the external storage. You only want the data to be stored in the internal storage of those devices. You can factory reset the phone without the user knowing that you've already done the factory reset on his or her phone. So you can also ensure secure access of corporate data from anywhere and anytime using VPN and per app VPN. So you can connect if your organization have basis of VPN, can configure the VPN settings on the application and deploy them to those mobile devices, so that anytime the user wants to have access to your corporate environment from outside, they can be able to log on to your environment. You can also prevent access to malicious and unapproved websites through URL filtering. So you can blacklist some URLs so that users won't have access to those particular websites when they log on to their mobile devices through their browsers. So you can blacklist some URLs so that they cannot be able to visit those websites when that URL filtering policies have been applied to the device. So you can also facilitate certificate-based authentication by pushing user-specific security certificates through SCEP or DigiSat. So for the communications to be more secured, certificates can be pushed. So instead of you installing certificates one after the other on those mobile devices, you can automate the process. Upload the certificate details on the application, and once you've already uploaded them on the application, you can then distribute. So you can also secure your network by ensuring it is routed through the enterprise proxy. So if your environment is making use of proxy, instead of connecting directly to the internet, so if there is any proxy, you can configure the proxy settings on the application and then deploy to your mobile devices, to the enrolled mobile devices. You can also apply different configurations, customized configurations to devices using custom configurations. So that's for the profile management. So the next we are going to look at is the app management feature. So I'm just taking them one by one. I've already given a highlight on the different features of mobile device management. So we are under the application management. So under the application management, you can create and maintain enterprise app catalog containing only enterprise approved apps. So here, you can create a repository of applications where all the enterprise applications are being stored. And from there, you can distribute those applications to the mobile devices. It's only the applications that you want those mobile devices to have that they will have. So you can restrict them from downloading applications. You can restrict them from going to Play Store. You can restrict them from going to their Apple Business Manager, Windows Business Store to get some application. It's only the application available on the app catalog under the Mobile Device Manager Plus, Mobile Device Manager Plus that can be deployed to those mobile devices. You can even restrict the number of applications that the user will have. So for example, if you've already said that you want only 4 applications, you only want maybe the call app, the SMS app, the email app, or maybe the WhatsApp app. It's only those 4. Once you've already configured that these are the only 4 applications that will be available on those mobile devices, it's only those 4 applications that will be available. Other application present on those mobile devices will disappear. They will only be able to see the call app, the messaging app, the email app, and WhatsApp app. So you can install or uninstall applications without any user intervention. So once you've already enrolled your devices, you'll be able to see all the applications available on those devices. So in case maybe one of the devices have any of the unapproved apps, you can uninstall it automatically from the application without the user even knowing. We can blacklist non-productive apps and prevent its usage or installation on devices. We can prevent users to install any application. Only the enterprise approved application will be installed. You can blacklist any other ones from the application. So you can lock down devices to a specific app. I have explained this before. You can lock down devices to a specific app or a set of approved apps while pre-configuring settings and preventing users from modifying them. You can restrict users from uninstalling corporate apps, ensuring there's no drop in productivity. You can restrict users from updating the applications by themselves. The updates can only be done automatically from the application. You can also predefine app configurations and permissions, ensuring the apps are ready to use on installations. You can also deploy enterprise applications to your production environment after testing them on your test bed or test environment. So that's for the app management. So the next is your email management. With MDM Plus, you can perform email management on those mobile devices. You can configure your work email on devices with the requisite settings using your Exchange ActiveSync. So if you are using Exchange, if your organization have Exchange environment, all you just need to do is to configure those your work email on the application and then distribute it on those mobile devices. You can prevent the transfer of emails from corporate accounts to user personal accounts. So you can prevent the transfer. You can securely download and view confidential corporate attachments on the Manage Engine MDM app. So any attachment sent via email can only be downloaded using the Manage Engine MDM app. So you can't download it with any other application. It's only with Manage Engine MDM app that you can use to download and view confidential corporate attachments. And with this, that's how you can actually mitigate threats, because when the outside world have your data, they can use it against the organization. So with this, you can be able to make sure that your data are secured and only the mobile devices approved have the right to view your corporate information. You can also prevent users from accessing corporate exchange accounts from unauthorized devices. So any unauthorized devices, any devices that have not been enrolled, that are seen as unauthorized devices, will not access your corporate exchange accounts. So the next functionality is the content management. So content management is all about distributing documents, distributing files. Those files can be a PDF, TXT, PPT, doc, RTF, Excel, even videos, pictures. So you can distribute those from MDM to all the devices at once from a single console. So you can create a repository containing critical business documents and media files. You can securely share files in multiple formats to devices without depending on any third-party services. You can sandbox your corporate documents to securely view distributed content from ManageEngine MDM app. You can prevent the backup of corporate data on third-party cloud services and restrict sharing it to other devices. You can also automate content updates on mobile devices, and you can centralize removal of content from managed devices. So those contents that you've already shared using the software, you can still remove them from all those devices using the software too. So that's how MDM Plus works. So the next feature is security management. So under the security management, you can enforce and automate OS updates to prevent ad hoc updates and bandwidth choking. So you can automate your OS, you can schedule the OS updates of those mobile devices. So because if you leave the updates to users to do it themselves, they might exhaust the company's network might be slow, either in the office. So it's better for you to manage the updates yourself. So with MDM, you can be able to automate all those OS updates. You can apply security restrictions on devices when they leave a designated area with geofencing. So with geofencing, you can restrict some devices when they leave a particular area. So those areas we've already defined in that application. When any devices leaves that particular area, a notification will be sent to the admin. So you can lock down lost or stolen devices using lost mode. If any devices have been reported as being lost, so Mobile Device Manager Plus have this lost mode functionality that will be activated when a particular device has been reported as a stolen device. You can also ensure that secure data on devices and external, you can secure data on devices and external storage with enforced encryption. You can set password on them. That anytime you want to access your external storage, you must provide those passwords before you can be able to have access to them. You can overcome the hassles of factory resets using the security feature under the Mobile Device Manager Plus. You can also apply security policies to Office 365 apps, even when installed on unmanaged devices. You can remotely lock devices to prevent unauthorized access. You can remotely lock the device without even the user knowing, or anytime the user misplaces the device and it reports to the IT admin, from the admin console can lock the device. So it's only the admin that can provide the password to unlock that device. You can wipe the corporate data or the complete device when lost or stolen. You can wipe all those corporate data from the application. You can clear or reset device passcode with a single click. You can locate misplaced devices by remotely ringing an alarm. You can detect and remove jailbroken devices from your organization's network. So these are what that can be achieved. These are all that can be achieved under the security management of the MDM. The next is bring your own device. Like I've said, we have different kinds of devices. You have the corporate owned devices. We have the bring your own devices. Bring your own devices means your personal device. You're using your personal device for corporate work, for office work. So when you have such devices, it can still be managed, but it cannot be managed completely. So what needs to be done is that a virtual container will be created. So that's where you can see containerization of corporate data. Any data being pushed from the MDM software will be called corporate data. For any data that have been present on the application before the device was enrolled to the application, it's called a personal data. So there will be a separate container. The MDM application will only be seeing the corporate data. It won't be seeing the personal data. So users' personal data will be untouched. separate profile strategy to secure corporate data on employee-owned devices. So you can restrict corporate data sharing between corporate and personal apps, managed and unmanaged devices, and third-party cloud services. So you can restrict data sharing between these applications and devices and services that I've mentioned. So you can also perform an effective management of multiple device type. Irrespective of the device type, you can manage them all at once using MDM. So the next is laptop management. You know, whenever we are talking about mobile device, most people will be thinking it's just mobile phones. No, it's not just mobile phones. It manages laptops too, but it's only Windows 10 laptops and Macs that it manages. Windows 10 laptops and Macs that it manages. So when you want to manage your laptops, you need to enroll those devices, enroll the laptop by installing agents on them. So you need to install agents on them before you can manage those laptops. So once you've already enrolled them, you have to you can distribute store and in-house applications to those Windows laptops, Mac operating system laptops too. You can lock down Windows laptops to specific app. The same way you can lock down applications on mobile phones, that's the same way you can lock down applications on Windows laptops. You can specify the number of applications you want that laptop to have. You can remotely locate Windows laptops and Mac. So for you to be able to hope you can hear me. Please, if you can.
Yeah, okay. You can go ahead. All right.
Okay. So like I've said, you can remotely locate Windows laptops and Macs. So for you to be able to locate the Windows laptop, you need to ensure that your location settings is turned on. So it must be turned on for you to be able to know where that laptop is at in any particular point in time. So you need to turn that particular settings on for you to be able to locate your laptops. You can predefine the permissions and enable extensions required by corporate applications on Mac OS, Mac laptops. You can secure data on Macs with 5-vault encryptions and firmware passwords. So it's only the admin that will have access to those passwords. So if you want to secure the data on Macs or you want to all the files stored in 5 vaults, it must be encrypted, and the details will be with the IT administrator. So anytime you want to have access to those 5 vaults, you need to meet the IT administrator, and the IT administrator will give you the credentials for you to have access to that particular 5 vaults. You can also remotely restart and wipe Windows laptop. If any laptop are reported as stolen laptops, the IT admin can wipe all the corporate data from the laptop. They can wipe all the corporate data from the laptop. So the next is the reports. So there are different kinds of reports you can generate. We have like 10 predefined reports, and there are some reports that can be generated inside of the application. So we can generate a different kind of reports, application by devices with some specific app, devices by model, devices by enrollment time, inactive devices. Inactive devices are devices that have not contacted the Mobile Device Manager Plus application for a long time. So those devices are called inactive devices. So you can be able to get those reports from there. You can generate devices by passcode types. You can even schedule some reports, and you can customize your own query report. So MDM is available for integration with third-party applications. So you can integrate it with this application. You can integrate it with Spicework. You can integrate it with Analytics Plus. We can integrate it with Jira Service Deck, CRM, and others. So these are the applications that you can integrate Mobile Device Manager Plus with. So I don't know if you have any questions. So in summary, what Manage Engine Mobile Device Manager Plus does helps you to manage your mobile devices all from a single console. It manages your Android devices, manages your iOS devices, manages your Mac devices, Chrome OS devices, and TV OS devices. So, but for you to be able to manage them, you have to enroll them first. So each of these operating systems have their own enrollment method. It's not the same way that you enroll Apple, that you enroll Windows, that you enroll Mac or enroll Chrome OS devices. So every of those OS devices have their different enrollment method. So once you've already enrolled those devices, or once you've done the enrollment, you can then perform those functionalities that I just talked about earlier on them, such as the email management, some content management, security management, complete wipe, geofencing, location tracking the devices, you can track them, asset management, knowing the number of softwares available on those mobile devices, app restrictions, and other functionalities. So that's the summary of what MDM can help organizations to achieve. So I'll hand it over to Henry to continue. What happens next?
Okay, thank you very much, Enrica. That is very, very insightful. I actually gained a lot in this session. So I don't know if we have question. Like I said earlier, you can use the chat tab or the Q&A tab to drop in your question. So we will be glad to attend to every question that we get from you today. And also feel free to send email if you can't really ask question here. But I will be glad if you can send some questions so that we can as well tweet it right here. So I will just give like some minute for us to type in our questions, then we'll go to the next
So if you have any question, you can drop them on the chat box, or you can send email to henry.abonzia@trantoit.com. So I don't know if you have any question with regards to Manage Engine MDM. Please, if you have, you can drop them on the chat. Abbas Musa, I don't know if you have any question. Chukwemeka, Bali, Emeka Odeze, Fasal. Don't know if you have any question. Please feel free to ask your question. John, Larry, Olamayowa, Soliu, Victor, Violet, Williams. I don't know if you have any question.
Okay, so while we wait for your question, let me just proceed to the next session of this webinar. So what next? What next? If you have been attending our webinar, you should have known what this all about, but we don't want to assume that you know all about what next. What next in the sense that how you as a reseller can be able to engage your client. And this has to do with our success story. We as a distributor, we sell to the end users. We actually has some success story as regards to our engagement with our clients. So we felt the need to share this with our reseller to see how we engage our clients. So when you have opportunity or you identify a solution or you have reached out to a client and they have been able to share their pain with you, then what all you need to do is for you to look out for the solution that we meet that will solve their pain or that will meet their requirement. So having done that, you just have to get a proposal on this solution. So the proposal you share with the client goes through the proposal and see if is actually what he or she wants to buy or he or she needs in his environment. So once the client has gone through the proposal, then you want to have a demo session with the client just to ensure that is what was written in the black and white is what you actually you want to demonstrate to the client. So then you do after the demo has been done, and for your information, we understand that every other it's not all the resellers that can demo manage engine solution. So we as Untitled, the distributor, we have more than enough resource to handle your request. Just reach out to us for any kind of demo you want on this manage engine solution. Like I said earlier, manage engine solution is so we have over 90 plus solutions, and we have resource that can actually demo each of these solutions at any time. So we are open to that at any time. So we also want to encourage our resellers to learn how to demo. So we have this session many times, training our resellers on how to demo this solution. Time we come, we stop and training our resellers. Next, when you come for a demo, we have to refer you to a capable reseller that can do such demo. So, but why the opportunity is right open now, I want to encourage us to take advantage of most webinars and also our demo session just to know how to demonstrate. So let's go back to where we are currently. So demo, after the demo, you demonstrate the solution to the client, and then they would actually look at it and say, okay, yes, this is somewhat what we're looking out for, and they would want to go out and get the solution. But before then, you can as well register your deal. You go to our website, click on the event tab, click on deal registration. When you register your deal, this is your opportunity to get discount from the OEM and also secure your deal. Because at the end of the day, why you're going through this process, sending proposal, demo, POC, the client is actually satisfied. They will now want to get the solution, and it will be pushed out to other vendor, knowing fully well that you are the one that started the whole process. So it will not be fair enough as we and the distributor giving the same price that we share with you to other vendors. So that is why we encourage the deal owner to register the opportunity. Once you register your deal, immediately I get an alert on that the particular deal has been registered on your company name. So whoever that comes to push such opportunity, we will always let them know that somebody is already there. But that is what we can do as a distributor. We also want to support the deal owner to ensure that the deal closes. So that's what you do as a reseller. Is a responsibility. Even before you engage your client, it's important you go to the site and register your opportunities. We, as much the distributor, we try as much to avoid the conflict among resellers. So that's what we do to manage our conflict. So after which you believe after the demo, the client will want to say, okay, yes, we're fine with the demo. Let's see if let's see the cost implication of what we want to get. So if the client now decide to get the costing, we have already made a questionnaire that you can use to generate pricing for the client. So you can reach out to me at any time to get a questionnaire on any kind of solution, any of this managed engine solution. I'll be glad to share that with you. So the questionnaire will be sent to the client. They will fill it and he sent it back to us. We go back to our commercial team, get the pricing for which of the solution they fill in the questionnaire. and we send back to the client. So definitely the client is going to go through the pricing. And if the price meets their budget, they might want to get it immediately. And if it doesn't, they might want to push it to the next quarter or the next year. But this is a process that we as a distributor are used to. This is the process we use to engage our clients. So after this pricing has been shared, I believe the next stage is POC. And most times, POC, this process, like I said, is actually not rigid, it's flexible, because one, say for example, you have an IT administrator or the head of IT that has once used Manage Engine solution in his former organization. So it is easier for you to push such solution. Most times, it doesn't even require us to go ahead for a POC because he has used the solution in his former organization. All you just need to do is to fill for the pricing, and we send pricing, then you get the solution. So that is why I said the process here is not actually rigid, but let's assume for a new prospect that wants to get Manage Engine, this is the right process you're going to go through. So once the POC is done, we have an opportunity to have a 30 days POC with a client. That's if you can handle the POC, very good. But if you can, then reach out to us. We'll do the necessity, all the things needed to carry out the POC. So once the POC is done, I believe that the client would want to purchase the solution. Then each PO will be issued and payment will be done. After payment is done, a full deployment will be done, right? Because the POC is not actually a full deployment. It's just a rough kind of little implementation that will be done just for the client to have a feel of the solution. So immediately after payment is done, and we would do a full deployment. So after full deployment, we'll do more like a training for the users of this solution. We call it end users training, and also then we'll do what we call health check. Health check is done in our organization. We try as much in every 3 months to reach out to the client to see if they are getting the best of use of the solution, and if they have complained. So at least I forget, why you are engaging the client on POC, it's important for you to ask these questions to know if they are actually, the solution is meeting their request, or they have any challenge why they are using the solution during the POC period, so that at that point we're able to resolve every of their complaints before they go live. So once the deployment is done, we do have a health check with our clients 3 months, every quarter, just to ensure that they are using the solution and they're happy with the solution. You know, when a client is happy, that is when you should be able to think about cross-selling. So we are cross-sell other solutions to the client because they are happy with the first one we've sold to them. So it's important to note this, that it's not just for you to sell, it's important to cross-sell. For you to have an account that you have someone already, it's important for you to take advantage of that, take full ownership of the account by cross-selling and other solutions to the client. So that's just our process of engagement with our client. It's not actually rigid, it's flexible, but this has been our success story over time, over the years. And also we believe that if you engage your client through this process, it will be easier for you to close deal. And also I want to encourage us that might actually take 2 to 3 months for this process to be completed. But at the end of the day, you get it closed if this process are well closed and followed. Okay, so that's just what we as a distributor do to engage our clients. So we want to let you know that we have this available for you at any time. So reach out to me. You want to overview videos of this webinar, we will share that with you, proposal sample, solution selling link and the registration portal, flyer and brochure for any of this solution, demo link on all the solutions. So this is to let you know that every of the solution has a demo link. We can share that with you. I have videos on Manage Engine solution, videos that you can share with your client on your WhatsApp or your any of those social media platform. So I want you to take advantage of it. Reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to me. It's important you reach out to me at any time so that you can be able to get deal close at any time. So that is what we have available for you. You can also reach out to me on my email anytime. I'll be glad to tweet your request. So for now, that's where we are currently. We're going to go back to the question tab to see if we have any question from our partner here. So Anrika, I will want you to handle this session of Q&A. I don't know if there's any question. Yeah.
Yes, I can see two questions from the chat box. So Victor asked, if a laptop is missing and the device location is not turned on, how will you locate it? So device location must always be turned on. So you can set configure a settings on the MDM app for the users not to turn off the location settings. So once you've configured that on the Mobile Device Manager Plus application and deployed it to all the laptops, users can never turn off that device location, no matter what they do. So once that device location is always, you can be able to detect the laptop. So the device location must always be on, because if it is not on, you can't be able to know exactly where the laptop is. So the next question is, if the device is not using network at a moment, how can you gain access to control it or monitor the device? Okay, so devices must connect to a particular network. So is it that they are connected? If you're using the on-premise version of the application of Mobile Device Manager Plus, devices must be connected to your to the LAN network, to your enterprise network. So if it is not connected to the enterprise network, all you just need to do is to publish the IP address of the server so that mobile devices not connected to the network can communicate with the MDM server. So if there's no communication with the MDM server, those devices cannot be managed. So they must connect to the enterprise network, or you can publish the IP address of the application, map it to a public IP, and devices outside the network can communicate with the server. And from there, devices can be managed. That's for the on-premise. For the cloud, once you have internet on those mobile devices, you can manage them. So they must connect to they must have internet before you can be able to manage them for cloud. So they don't need to connect to any particular network. Once there's an internet service on that particular mobile device, MDM can manage those mobile devices. I don't know if that answers your question for Sal. For Victor, I don't know if the location history questions I've answered have cleared your doubts. So, do you still have any other question? Well, Henry, I don't think there is any more questions from them. Hello, Henry, are you there?
Yeah, okay, sorry. Okay, so if there's no further question, but let me just give you an hint. Okay, so where am I going to sell MDN? Who are those people that I would want to sell MDN to, even without reaching out to them, even without them reaching out to me? I think that's the question that I feel that anybody will want to ask. And sometimes there are some things that you see, look out for before you push any solution. You have an existing client that you've showed other solutions that you sell in your organization, but you want to sell Manage Engine MDM to them. You look out for clients that has most of their staff out of the office and they have their devices issued to them. So those are the clients that you look out for, and that you can push MDN to them just for them to be able to secure their devices and all their data where that their clients are their staffs are using outside the office. So, and those ones that have mobile device and also work with the mobile device outside the office, or even inside the office too. And that can be done to even those that have their laptop too. Their laptops work from remotely at any from any region or any place at all. So you look out for those clients that those are the people that you want to push MDN solution to. So and these are the clients we are actually sold to some of these clients that they have their staff using mobile device. Even some schools too now have some mobile devices used to their students. So it's not just for the enterprise organization alone. So I don't know if we have further questions. You can reach out to me to get some things about Mobile Device Manager Plus. So I want to let you know that this webinar is a series. We're going to have a next webinar series on endpoint security, but at this time, it's not going to be Manage Engine Mobile Device Manager Plus or Patch Manager Plus, the case may be, but it will be different from entirely from what we just treated in this series one of this webinar. And so I want you to take advantage of that too. I want to let you know that all the materials, everything that is we just mentioned will be shared with you at the end of this webinar, and that will be next week. You're going to get the slides and the recording and the some other materials on MDN and Patch Manager Plus that we treated. So as an overview of what we've done in this webinar, the day one we had a discussion on Patch Manager Plus, and then also day two we have MDN as the topic for day two. And so I believe that we all understood what Patch Manager solution does, and the same as what MDN solution does. So, and this is based on popular demand. We have so many requests from our clients, from other resellers on this solution. That is why we want to pick out this solution first in quarter 2, because it's important to know about this solution before the end of the year. So that is why we treat MDN and MDN and Patch Manager Plus in this quarter. So I want to assume that we have no further questions. Should we have at any time, you can reach out to me by calling my numbers or send an email to me. I'll be glad to treat your request. So once more, I want to thank every one of us for taking time out to join this webinar. It's very, very insightful webinar. And also I thank Anurika and the team for taking all their time to let us know what the solution is all about. But we want to appreciate you once more. Thank you for joining. Be rest assured that we're going to share this recording and all the necessary material with you at the end of this webinar, but not today, not tomorrow, but you're going to get that hopefully by Monday or Tuesday. That will be shared to every attendee of this webinar. Thank you very much. We hope to see you in our next webinar. Least I forget, we are going to start the advanced training for our resellers. What does this mean? So we, as a distributor, we don't want to be the one making the money alone. We want our reseller to make more money. So the only way you can get more money from from a solution is through the implementation, right? As a partner, you have a rebate that will be given to you as a partner, right? The rebate might be like 15 to 10%. That is not enough to even foot the bill of your staff. So it's important to learn how to implement a Manage Engine solution. So then when you can implement the solution, you don't even have to call us for demo. meaning that you can as well start this the process of engagement to the end. You're going to be the one to charge for the implementation, and you make more money. So I want us to take advantage of this advanced training on Manage Engine solution that will be sent to everyone, but is going to be a paid training, because I believe that you're going to, it's all about you investing in your investing with investing in your staff for a future revenue generation. So I think that is very, very fair enough from our own part to ensure that our resellers are making profit from the business. So let's take advantage of the training, the advanced training that will be coming up probably the first month of Q3, where we're going to have that. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Enrica. Thank you, the team. Thank you, every one of us that has joined this webinar. I want to wish you a pleasant day ahead. You have a lovely day. Bye for now.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.